Hey, what are we cooking today? So, one of the things that my mom did was that she would teach you a recipe and it became your recipe or your job. So, this is one of those items. This isn't in the cookbook, but this was one of those things that was delegated to me and it became my job anytime the family wanted this one. And this is for you, Janet, meatloaf. Okay, so, or as my son likes to so eloquently put it, the gut bomb. Okay, so you're going to start out with a pretty big bowl because you're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So we're going to start out with a couple of pounds of whatever. So normally you're going to make this with beef and pork or sausage or whatever. Now, I don't have any, believe it or not, I didn't have any ground beef. So I am using ground turkey. So it's a little 1 pound chub of ground turkey. And then also I have mild Italian sausage. I'm going to use that as well. My hands are clean. I washed them thoroughly before I started because this is going to be a mix. So now you're going to mix these two meats together and get them all homogenized. And if getting your hands in here is not your cup of tea, then by all means feel free to utilize some other methodology, or you know, you can put on rubber gloves if you know, if squishy meat is not your thing. But anyways, yeah, okay. I just do the recipes, okay? I just do the recipes. So that meat is mostly incorporated. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make a well in the center of the meat, and you're going to break up some kind of binder. So in this case, I'm using a couple of stale hot dog buns found in the back of the fridge. Or you can use, if that's not your cup of tea, you can use stuffing mix, or you can use soda crackers or whatever. But I always did the stale bread because that's how my mommy taught me to do it. So you're going to do the stale bread. And so like I said, I got a couple of hot dog buns going on here. And I've got 1 slice of good sourdough. So you know me and my sourdough. I love good sourdough. So you're going to throw that all in there. And the next thing that you're going to need is to wash your hands, because you're going to be doing some more ingredients that are going to require clean hands. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So now, if, like I said, if, you know, mixing things by your hands does, you know, just grosses you out, or you have an issue with it, we can use the infamous ka-chunk, you know, which we've all talked about, the Cutco. Or if you are so lucky to have a friend that is throwing a Pampered Chef party, I'm talking about you, Nancy Alleman. Or if you have a really good friend who is an amazing Pampered Chef sponsor, which is my girlfriend Julie Wilson, who I was in marching band with. Hey, covet those relationships that have lasted more than 10 years. Anyway, so she's a Pampered Chef lady. This is a Pampered Chef item. You can just use it swishy. So on top of the bread, we are going to add 1 can of evaporated milk, okay? This, remember, is the church key. This is what you use to open this kind of can. Let me demonstrate. You're going to hook on the edge and push down, and you're going to make a V cut. Push down, make a V cut. Now, the reason that you make 2 cuts is that opens a vacuum so that it pours easier when you pour it over your bread. So the objective of the milk is to add moisture to the meatloaf as well as to soften the bread. Now, the next thing that you're going to add, oh, by the way, for demo purpose, you can also use a package of stuffing mix if that is it floats your boat. Now, you also want to pick up the flavor in here. So even though we have the spicy or the mild Italian sausage, you want to put a little more flavor in it. And this was my mom's go-to, was good old, you know, onion soup mix. So good old onion soup mix, you're going to throw that in there as well. And another binding agent you're going to have is a couple of eggs. So we got 1 egg in there. We got 2 eggs in there. Now, also, what I like to do, clean up after yourself, remember. It's important, clean up. I have the trash can right there. Okay, so I also like to add a little W sauce. Okay, or what's your sister, was your sister, you know, and Liam Perry's, oh my gosh, I'm almost out. Okay, so you know what? We're gonna kill this bottle. And that's it, I'm gonna have to go get some more. I have tried all the other, I have tried a bazillion W sauces. That's go-to. So, I will be back in a moment after I've had an opportunity to mix this all up. Be right back. Okay, so I've mixed it up, washed my hands, and I've noticed that it's a little bit looser than I like. So I've grabbed the box of stuffing mix. I'm gonna put like maybe quarter of a packet. And that should be perfect. Yeah, about quarter of a packet. Don't want a lot. Now, the next thing that you're gonna need is what you're gonna cook it in. Now, traditionally, a traditional meatloaf pan was like a bread loaf pan, but had an insert in it with holes in the bottom. No, I do the Fester Adams version where it's freeform on a cooking sheet. Okay, so I've got my cooking sheet here, and I've got aluminum foil. Now, Julia Child would kick you out of her kitchen if she didn't like the way you cut up onions. Okay, so when it comes to aluminum foil, there is a shiny side and there is a dull side. For its functionality, there is no difference, okay? Because this is just how it was manufactured. And it was put on rollers, rolled thin, one side contacted, one side polished. For the conductivity, there is no difference. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to line your pan. This just makes cleanup just that much easier. Okay, so now you're going to finish combining your ingredients. Let everybody soak in. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it just needed that little extra oomph of stuff. Now, so as I mentioned, Fester Adams, before Debbie on their anniversary, she gave him a bomb, blew up the house because she wanted his millions, and he made her a meatloaf, and you know, for their anniversary dinner, and he made it free-formed on a pan. So for those of you, if you haven't watched Adam's Family Values, we're moving into the spooky season. Watch yourself some good, you know, Halloween movies. So now I've got my pan, and you know, I made this on Valentine's Day, and I free-formed my meatloaf to look like a heart. I have free-formed my meatloaf to look like a rocket. I have free-formed my meatloaf to look like a loaf, which is what I'm going to do today. And so what you want to do is you just want to shape it into a shape that is aesthetically pleasing for you and also expedites cooking. Because if you cook it in a loaf pan, it's too much volume, and so it'll take freaking forever to cook. So when you have it low and flat like this, it will cook a lot quicker. And if you want to square it up for slicing later, you can square it up. So excuse me while I go wash my hands. Okay, so there we have it. We have got the meatloaf. Now, if you notice, I'm not using any kind of fancy glaze. I have never glazed a meatloaf in my entire life. The Italian sausage makes a beautiful fond. And okay, so this is for Janet, high school buddy. I have a stopwatch, okay? So I'm gonna hit the stopwatch, and we're gonna put this puppy in the oven. And there's a story, so be right back. Ooh, I can't see. Okay, so here's the story of the reason why I started the stopwatch. So Janet was doing a recipe of making a meatloaf, And for some bizarre reason, the recipe said that it was going to take X number of time. And so every time Janet took it out of the oven, it wasn't cooked. And it wasn't cooked and wasn't cooked. And she was irritated with the fact that the cooking time did not match the recipe. And I get it. I totally get it. I've been there. I've done that. So, you know, been there, done that, been there, done that. So with this method, it does cook a lot quicker than using a loaf pan. And I just go by smell. When my house starts smelling amazing, then I know it's pretty well done. So that's why I've started the stopwatch, so I can show exactly how long it takes to cook. Unlike the tamale pie recipe from earlier this week, where it ended up taking like an hour and 25 minutes, and it was still a little on the underside in my opinion, but it was still friggin' tasty. I just learned though with the tamale pie, my son's all, more meat, no olives. So hey, if I ever make it again, it'll be more meat, no olives. So anyways, I'll be back once my house starts smelling amazing. Also, to go along with this, I have got what's known as Crispies going. So repetition makes masters, but also get your butt out there and learn something. So I went to lunch with my beautiful, amazing friend Linda, and we went to the English Tea House. They served me these incredible, amazing roasted potatoes. Super fluffy inside, super crispy outside, brown, golden, delicious. The piece de resistance. And so that's the second time I've said that this week. Okay, anyways, I devoured those puppies because they're freaking delish. And so I went on YouTube and I YouTubed like 5 different recipes on how to make the perfect English crusty potato. So I do not have access to duck fat. I was told flat out, if you use olive oil, you suck. So I currently have a pound of bacon, actually 12 ounces, because they don't make a pound of bacon anymore. I've got 12 ounces of bacon currently rendering in my oven so that I can use that fat to cook my potatoes. The potatoes are boiled to the point where they are, you can insert a knife in them and they don't fall apart. If they fall apart, you've gone too far. So they still have some cooking to do, which will happen when they roast in the bacon fat that's currently rendering. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. So that's a meatloaf. It's in the oven. We'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I have my tray of bacon grease with a little bit of butter, and I have my potatoes. They've been boiled just enough so that they're kind of and what you want is you want that sizzle. That sizzle means that they're going to start cooking perfectly. So you want to stir them around a little bit so that they all get a little bit of that lovely bacon coating, tasty, yummy flavor. When I did cook them, I cooked the potatoes in a little bit of water and with garlic salt and dried garlic bits. So I think everybody's doing really well there. So we're going to put that back in. Meatloaf's down there on the bottom, rocking and rolling. Got some bacon for snacking later. And the oven is going to be at 400. And so that's it. We're cooking. And we'll be back in a bit. Okay, my screamers. My timers is screaming. So let's see what's going on with these here roasty potatoes. Oh, meatloaf's looking like a meatloaf. Okay, these guys are doing good. They're not completely crispy brown yet. They're getting some edges though. And give them a quickie stir. See how that one's getting some GBD, golden brown delicious going on there? Oh my goodness. Oh. Yum, 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 yum. Yep. You want surface area because that's going to give you the best crisp. As Mr. McTavish from elementary school used to say, girls, you're bunching. He was Scottish and he was my soccer coach. So don't let your taters be bunching. So that's it. And let's see so the meatloaf is still cooking, and the meatloaf will watch. We've got 39 minutes and 44 seconds. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay, our timer's going off, so let's see what's happening inside the oven. So our Crispies, okay, I want them looking like this guy. So we're still rocking and rolling. Stir them up a little bit. Now, the meatloaf is considered done when it's at 160 Fahrenheit internal temperature. And it's getting there. It's actually pretty close. So let's turn this guy off. Let me find my thermometer. And there you are. Okay. So come here. All right. So this is a thermometer, and what we're going to do is we're going to stick in there and see what temperature we got. So we are, yeah, we're just about done. So we're exactly where we need to be. So let's see what the timer says. We're at 62 minutes. 62 minutes, and the meatloaf is done. So I'm going to leave them both in until the potatoes are where I want them to be. And so that is how I make meatloaf. So until next time, don't forget, I love you. Ta-ta for now. Okay, so whenever you cook a meat, you've got to let it rest. And what we've done is we've let the meatloaf rest. And as you can see, our toasties are done. They're golden brown and delicious. And if you cut into them, see, they're light and fluffy inside. Just amazing. It's like it's like Five Guy French fries, but in big form, you know. And then when it comes to the meatloaf, you're just going to slice you off a chunk. Josh is already drooling. He's like, "You made meatloaf, Mom." And I said, "Yes, I did." So, all right, come on. So there you go. And that's the meatloaf. So if you want, you can, glaze it at this point and put, some ketchup on it or something, or turn it into meatloaf sandwiches, or do whatever. But anyways, so that's it for today. We have meatloaf and we have crusties. They're good roasted potatoes. Anyways, so that's it for today. Bonus recipe, not Mom's, but one Mom taught me. So until next time, don't forget, I love you. Ta-ta for now.